Welcome back, Fresh Bake, to another update of Galaxy's Edge from the backside of Battlescape, making friends parking structure. Today we're going to be doing our start here, looking at the backside of Battlescape, and where we're going to begin focusing on, eventually as we get there, is going to be that seemingly inconsequential little piece of rockwork that we've seen start to develop. That's the mesh framing being set up. It doesn't look like much, but what we're going to find out is that does inform us quite a bit as to where we are in the model. Now, first of all, that is definitely that. I think there's no doubt about it. Everything lines up. So I think it's really clear that that's what they're working on. Now, before we figure out where we are in the model, let's move over to the extended queue. This is that underground tunnel thing that we've been watching them build, and we haven't been able to really look at this for a while with any sort of specificity because the trees have sort of taken over the view there, so we can't see anything in terms of what's being done on the other side of them. But if we go back, this is actually February 17th, so almost 2 months ago, and we were first this is when we were first trying to figure out what they were doing here. And I had said at the time, as we switch over to the model, that I believe where we are is right about here. That's where that rockwork is being developed. That rockwork, by the way, what I'm talking about is that steelwork that's being attached to that queue that sort of follows the queue towards the main queue over here. Now, again, I said at the time, I think it's right about here, but we won't know for sure until we find out what's going on with that thing. Once we figure out what that is, or where that is on the Battlescape building, we'll have a better idea of where that queue is, in relation to the model. And now we know, obviously, that's what that is. So, while I'm saying I think I was fairly close, I think it's too far to that left side of frame. I think it's probably more closer to the middle of the frame, somewhere right around there. But it does kind of inform us about what we're looking at, and it does also tell us or confirm, I guess is the word I'm looking for, that the entrance to this attraction is this piece of rockwork, is this stretch of mountain range, and where we had thought maybe that might be an exit or an entrance over here is more likely the exit. Now, with respect to what we're seeing, that it does inform us as well what these pieces of rockwork are here. It confirms that rockwork there that we're seeing, all that structure that we're seeing being built, is not the lip, but the range, the smooth mountain range in back of the lip. Okay, let's take a look at the top of the Battlescape building as per usual. We won't be doing any stops here, but just taking another look at how things are progressing. It's interesting kind of to watch how some sections sort of show a lot of quick progress and they stall for a long time, and then other stuff catches up. There's definitely a rhythm to it. For example, that right there in the middle of the frame, that area that's gotten a lot of mesh work done recently, for a long time, that was just a single steel frame. It was the one piece of steel going up, and then like a Christmas tree, and there's other pieces sticking out, and it was like that for a very long time, and finally they started putting some mesh on there. Now let's head over to the Millennium Falcon side, catch up on what's going on there. Again, we've got these sort of 3 stages of mesh work being done on those 3 peaks. The middle section appearing to get the most advanced cosmetic touch-ups right now. Quick look at that structure that we were really excited about last week. That structure right there. It's this one that we see from we saw the drone fly over. I'm really fascinated by that, and I hope to take a little more look at that. Hey, look, there's the big A in the background for you baseball fans, and then we'll start to pan over Battlescape from this angle. But the camera's a little too tight. If we could, David, if we could please pan back a little bit, thank you very much. You know what? Actually, let's stop. and go back. This is something that we're going to look more closely at soon when we do the Rivers of America. But I didn't see it, initially when I was doing this video because it blended in with the Matterhorn. But right in the middle of the Matterhorn, you can see. Look for that yellow thing, and then pan your eyes to the right, and you can see. Okay, just to the right of the Matterhorn, they have built like these antenna type structures that are so common in the Star Wars universe. If you watch the movies, you see these things everywhere. They have built these somewhere in front of the Battle Escape building, and we're going to get a really good look on it later. And again, I didn't notice these. Well, you know what? We'll cover that in a minute, but keep that in mind. These antenna type structures there. Keep that in mind for future reference, and we'll continue looking at the top of the Battle Escape building. By the way, there's a tarp. Right there. There's a tarp. I don't know what they're doing. They got a secret behind that thing. That's got to be, actually, now that I think about it, that could be something that they don't want us to see. Some kind of secret behind there, maybe. Because why else would you build a tarp? Who cares, if something's covered or not otherwise, right? Interesting. All right, Rivers of America, and my attention kept getting diverted between the actual Galaxy's Edge and that train going by. I couldn't decide what I wanted to look at, but I'm like, no, Dave, you got to work. The boat only goes by for a few minutes, so there's your front-facing Battle Escape building, and there's that wonderful train. And then I forgot to, because we've been paying attention to that new structure that's come up, and I forgot to get a good look, because the good look at that structure comes very early on as we turn this corner around Rivers of America, and if you don't get it then, you're not going to get it, because then the trees cover it up. So now I'm going to fight these trees, that tree right in the middle there, for a view, again, of that structure. You can see it there to the left of that tree, and to the left of that giant peak. So there they are, right? You can see them right there. You can see it. See that? Stop. You see those throughout the Star Wars universe in the films, and they're building them here as well. And again, I didn't notice it here at the time. I didn't see that at all. And now this is where things start to get interesting. There's a couple of twin peaks or whatever that are being developed there. And as is often the case, I'll try to pan over to the left because I'm losing my view. And that's when I caught those. Now, I'm filming this. I still, through the lens, I cannot tell what I'm looking at. I'm not sure if these are steel, peaks that are being developed, or if that was what I thought it was. But I mean, there's no doubt that that's not steel work for eventual mountain range or peak or rock work of any kind. That's an antenna. That's a Star Wars-like antenna. Now, the next question is, where does this exist on the model? The initial thought is it's got to be right here, right? That, after all, seemed to me to be, the most obvious reference to one of the antenna. But I realized that's not spatially. That's not located in the right space. That's the Millennium Falcon section, and this antenna is closer to the Battle Escape building. So if we get a different picture, I believe it's this one right here, which rests just to the right of Battle Escape, as does, where we're seeing it through the video I just got. And if we zoom in, although it's a little grainy, you can see there is an antenna tower right there. I mean, we can see that there's one right there, and it is spatially correct, I think, relative to what we're seeing in the video. So I believe that's what that is. And now I'm officially nerded out. As we'll continue. That's really cool. What that tells us, as we look at this, another image of that structure being built, what that tells us, with that structure that we saw last week and that antenna that we're seeing today, as we continue looking around, what that tells us is again, we're getting closer to reality. It's no longer just rocks and trees and mountains. We're now seeing Star Wars land emerge from all of this madness. I mean, we've gone from dirt to steel to mesh and rock work, and now we're seeing, developed areas that you could define on, as being legit Galaxy's Edge. And even that back in the day when we first found that, the hull. These are things that tell us we're getting really, really close. So I'm enjoying that, and I hope you did too. So thanks for watching, everybody, as we pan out here, and we'll see you next week. First bite.
We've got lots more videos for you to see, so grab a churro and check out some of our other videos and have your mind blown by how much fun we're having. We truly are the best of Disney Baked Fresh Daily. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, and we'll see you next time. Fresh Baked!